Today in Cryptoland, Russia hints at issuing a gold-backed cryptocurrency. Dutch authorities crack down on a Bitcoin mixing service. Huge adoption news coming out of the United States as a major phone provider throws their hat into the crypto ring. And the Assange endgame is shaping up. Now, before we do get into the news, I just wanted to take a moment to say a massive thank you to you. Yes, you watching right now. Thank you so much for your support. The channel just passed 90,000 subscribers, which is beyond humbling, guys. So thank you so much. I really value each and every one of you and the time you guys take to come over here and watch these videos. And none of this will be possible without your support. So thank you, guys. Okay, on to today's first story. Prosecutors have announced 17 additional charges against Julian Assange for the crime of publishing hundreds of thousands of secret diplomatic cables and files on the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, which, as a reminder, revealed the extent of the horror and the crime being committed in those wars. This is a massive blow to the freedom of speech because, of course, that wasn't a crime. They're just making it a crime. Remember, nothing that Assange published was a lie. It was all true. And let us make no mistake that if Assange is extradited to the United States, he is not going to have a fair trial. That is clear. And that being charged under the Espionage Act can actually carry the death penalty. But more probably life in prison where they can just torture him on a daily basis like they did to Chelsea Manning. Journalism is being made into a crime, and that should scare everyone. When in fact, the thing that is a crime is the war on whistleblowers and those who seek to publish these kind of leaks that everyone should know about. It is a crime against every citizen in the world, the persecution of Julian Assange and the whistleblowers that he helps. Without a free press, we live in darkness and tyranny. And the press is already under pretty big pressure due to the corporatization of the press and its uncomfortably close links with intelligence agencies. And for anyone who feels compelled to repeat some kind of legacy media talking points about Assange being a traitor, you got to keep it real, guys. The only traitors here are those who punish heroes for speaking about the truth about war and the crimes which are committed by the very war criminals who run the government. Remember, Assange is being punished for publishing the truth. But the disgusting war criminals, people like George Bush and Dick Cheney and Obama and Clinton and Blair and Netanyahu, etc., 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 all those guys are walking free. They get to cruise the paid speech circuits on Wall Street, getting paid $400,000. They get invited on the Ellen DeGeneres show. That's a sick world. These people are all murderers with blood-soaked hands Assange worked to expose their crimes. I have included a great piece down below from The Intercept if you want to learn more about how the Espionage Act is being used to attack the heroes and patriots who dare to tell the truth about war. There's this great quote from Snowden, who of course is one of America's great heroes and patriots. The quote is, "Speak not because it is safe, but because it is right." The fiat system and the levers of financial tyranny all find themselves at the root of war. Bitcoin and the ideas of Bitcoin stand in dire opposition to this world of darkness and violence. A reminder, too, that WikiLeaks accepts a wide range of cryptocurrency donations, and you can even go and get yourself some sweet apparel, like this shirt. And remember that the cause of truth, transparency, and freedom is so much of what Bitcoin is actually about, and that WikiLeaks was one of the earliest adopters of Bitcoin, and thus one of the oldest members of our community. So if you love freedom and if you love liberty, then raise your voice to defend WikiLeaks and to defend Julian Assange, telling the truth and accepting Bitcoin since back in the day. On to the next big story, and oh man, is it a big one. Russia is floating the idea of making a gold-backed cryptocurrency for international settlements. Whoa. That is potentially big beyond belief if it happens, if they pull it off. Now, the crypto, if issued, will not be a return to the gold standard to rescue regular Russians from the ruble, but will instead simply be focused on those international settlements. And what is Russia's major export? Oil. Oil, guys. Elvira Nabiullina, the governor of the Bank of Russia, is to review a proposal for the development of the cryptocurrency in the coming weeks. Now, I am sure that the US is already scrambling to pass sanctions against this gold-backed cryptocurrency. Because remember, the US killed Gaddafi and turned one of the most prosperous countries in Africa into a Mad Max-style dystopian nightmare land because Gaddafi wanted to start trading oil for gold. Russia has nukes, so a military option won't work like it did in Libya. Thus, the sanctions regime has been the tool used against Russia. But using a gold-backed cryptocurrency for international settlements, particularly for oil, changes everything because sanctions can't stop it. This is a move by Russia to check out of the US-dominated financial system, and if successful, could be the biggest threat yet to the dominance of the petrodollar and the war machine that it underpins. Nothing happens in a vacuum, guys. Remember the travel rule being pushed by the FATF we were discussing just the other day? The rule that would require exchanges and wallet providers to exchange KYC information about anyone on either side of those exchanges, basically screwing privacy in crypto. This rule would mean that the government could effectively stop people from buying or selling things like the Russian gold coin, as they would know your Bitcoin address and they would be able to see if you had made any transactions before trying to cash out on Coinbase or something with that coin, and could farther, of course, even try to blacklist your crypto address so that exchanges are not allowed to work with you. All of this is possible in the rules that they're proposing. Well, the gold-backed crypto, of course, is cool. I would still prefer Russia be using Bitcoin for this, since when you own Bitcoin, you actually own it. A gold-backed crypto, like the one they're proposing, actually relies on trusting Russia to have the gold or their partners to have the gold, and of course then being able to redeem those tokens for actual gold should you so wish to do it. But still, it is a pretty cool thing being proposed here, and I'm really interested to see if this actually happens. We have had a lot of different things being proposed by the Russians, so will they follow through on this one, and will this actually happen? Time will tell. Over in the EU, authorities have shut down a Bitcoin transaction mixer. This was carried out by the Dutch Financial Criminal Investigative Service, who has seized the website of a Bitcoin transaction mixer in a crackdown on unlicensed money services operating in the country. This is the first public seizure of a Bitcoin mixing service, and it would seem is intended to make the point that not only dark marketplaces like the Silk Road are subject to criminal enforcement when it comes to crypto. Europol has alleged that much of the money that passed through bestmixer.io had a criminal origin or a criminal destination. The mixer was probably used to conceal and launder criminal flows of money. And you know what? It probably was being used for that. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. Seems like a good place for money launderers to go. And money laundering for criminals is real. Corrupt politicians, drug lords, human traffickers, all these other terrible people need to have their money cleaned, and they need these services. Now, most regular users do not use a mixer service. Of course, the enforcement, you have to just take a moment to understand, is absolutely hilarious, because imagine if they just shut down banks when they were caught laundering money. There would be no banks, because they've all done it. They all do it. The lesson, of course, if you intend to clean money for the scum of the earth, then make sure you wear a suit to do it, and you pay your bribes to the financial regulators, and then you're all good. Anyway, in a more serious note, the case is quite interesting, as it is yet another step against privacy in crypto land. If it is a one-off event to shut down a money laundering operation, yeah, okay. But if it is a precedent-setting event to go after other crypto to crypto services, then that's not cool, guys. We'll have to keep an eye on this story to see how it develops over time. Now, over in China, a council member at the Bank of China's Law Research Association has said that it is legal for individuals to own Bitcoin in China despite the government's blanket ban on trading of cryptocurrencies. So you can have Bitcoin, you just can't buy or sell Bitcoin. What? Now, he also stated that even occasional peer-to-peer trading could be recognized as one of the rights of ownership and may not be punishable under law. That makes it even more confusing. Anyway, China, what are you going to do with those crazy guys? This is nothing, of course, official by any means, but it's interesting that it's even being talked about, considering the overall picture in China. Now, moving on to the USA, where telecom giant AT&T will now be accepting online bill payments through BitPay. Boom! Thus, AT&T becomes the first major U.S. mobile carrier to provide a cryptocurrency payment options to its customers. Customers will be able to select BitPay as a payment option when they log on to their accounts online or with the My AT&T app. There was no clarification, though, in the statement from AT&T if they are planning to hold any of the Bitcoin that they are paid in, or if they will just make instant conversions, as that's something that BitPay offers. You can either get the crypto or you can get fiat straight away. And this is big because AT&T controls 1/3 of the US phone market, which means that tens of millions of Americans will see Bitcoin as a payment option, which is awesome. While only a few of those people are actually likely to use the Bitcoin to pay for their phone bill at this stage, it's still pretty massive for mainstream acceptance in terms of branding and getting out in front of people, which is pretty awesome when it comes down to it. And to see this big company adopting it, it doesn't have there's no opportunity cost for them. They just get to put it on their website. It's an extra payment method. They don't have to go through special training of their staff or anything like this. It's just there for them. And it becomes a new option, and it normalizes Bitcoin as money. And this story happens at a time when the Square Cash App, an increasingly important market for Bitcoin in of itself, is the top finance app in the United States. And Coinbase is also trending again on the App Store. Interesting times. And to finish today with a nice light story for you, Swiss luxury watchmaker Frank Mueller has launched a limited edition timepiece called Encrypto. These guys. The watch will contain a QR code so that you can show it to people and then they can send you some Bitcoin. Just flash your watch, your $60,000 watch. And with that will also come the secure means to access that Bitcoin that you get from the QR code on the watch. The price tag is $60,000, around 7.5 Bitcoin. So the question to you, would you buy this $60,000 watch, or would you just go and buy and hold the Bitcoin? Assuming, of course, that you have a spare $60,000 just burning a hole in your pocket that you have to spend on something. Let me know about it down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And of course, if you're new around here and you're new to crypto, check out thecryptolark.org. You can check out this playlist here, which is Cryptocurrency Explained. It is a free course designed for beginners to get a hang of what is going on in the crypto space. So make sure you check it out or tell your friends who might want to get into crypto. If you enjoyed today's video, we'll leave a thumbs up on it. You can always subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.